Thank you. So the title's fairly self-explanatory. I want to pose the question, do we know that our message is getting past the school gate? So we educate kids in school. How do we know it's going anywhere past the school gate? I'll introduce Envirocom. For those of you who don't know, we're actually a subsidiary of J.J. Richards. Is that right? We've been doing waste and sustainability education since about 1998, and our clients include local, state, territory governments, collection contractors, MRF operators, private sector. We now have 6 offices on the eastern side of Australia, including being excited to have Orange open in January this year and Canberra last month. About 25 staff altogether, and good to see that none of them came to support me this week, but I will be on the stand outside at 48 for the next couple of days if you want to come and say hi. My role is regional manager of the Sydney and Melbourne offices, and I also look after Orange as well. So in terms of beyond the class, a sizable chunk of the education delivery or budget that we spend might be aimed at school kids or preschool kids. And so by extension, our clients' dollars are going the same way, and those are council dollars, so they're dollars that come from you and I. And in doing so, as educators, we target these custodians of the futures, as we might call them, and we hope that the knowledge goes beyond the school, it sticks with the kids, and it goes home. You know, can we make that assumption? And as consultants, as education consultants, is that enough? In all honesty, we probably go further than this, and we tell our clients, you need to talk to the kids. That's what we got to do. We got to educate kids. But it isn't really possible to directly necessarily measure that. You can't do a bin inspection or a waste audit and test it. Say, yeah, we talked to 6 classes and look, the bins are cleaner around the school, because there's not that direct relationship. And in reality, if you're a council, there's probably pressure coming from schools as well to deliver education, and it might be waste education. But are we just being asked to babysit for the class so the teacher can have an easy hour in the afternoon? And there's no way of knowing that either. And of course, you know, personally speaking, and anecdotes don't tell us anything, my 9-year-old, she did occasionally tell me what happened at school, but it was a while ago and I can't remember what it was. So as consultants, are we doing enough? So I want to have a look at 3 reasonably distinct approaches that we've taken so that we can answer that question for our client and say, yeah, look, we're pretty confident the message is getting home. There are other ways to do it. These are not the only way, and these haven't all been super successful, so there's a bit of learning in there for us as well. So we've trialled a take-home survey where we actually encourage the kids to go home and have that dialogue with their parents, and I'll speak a bit about that in a minute. And then we have hosted some parent evenings where we actually talk directly to the parents, and then we've got the kids involved in doing delivery to the community and to their parents as well. So with our take-home survey, we very much, sorry, I'm on the wrong page, excuse me. We very much developed a lesson-relevant survey for the kids to take home. So whatever they had learned from our educators in class that day, the intention was that it might be discussed at home. And we also left all the schools with a stamped address envelope and tried to encourage the teachers to chase up and get these forms back, and that's one of the learnings. This is not easy. And it was really an opportunity to get some of the education material in front of parents, and thank goodness there are some pictures on this one, because otherwise I'd be in trouble from what we've just learned. So we designed this survey. It was a double-sided A5 flyer that we handed out to the kids. Half of it is a questionnaire. So on the left of the screen there, Rethinking Waste, Burwood City Council is the one example. They were happy for me to share this. And I can't read that. I was hoping I could read that. So the first question there, before this leaflet, were you aware that your child had participated in recycling education at school? So we're actually asking if it's ever been discussed. Now, we had a bit of debate about that, because if the conscientious kid takes this straight home and pulls it out of their bag, then of course they haven't discussed it. But we worked out that often things sit in kids' school bags for a while. Mine certainly does. And as the delays in getting these forms back came back, we were learning that it was being discussed. So we're sort of testing the theory. We learned a few things along the way. we made the survey in 2 parts. So this bit with all the images on it, so they remember it, tears off, and the idea is that that's a resource that you've actually now, if the kid has spoken to mum and dad about it, got it in the parents' hands, so your education has got beyond the school gate, if you like. And the second thing was that getting returns is a pretty tough gig, so this one's incentivized with a prize, $50 cinema voucher. The idea was to make the prize appeal to the kids, because we want the kids to be the kind of carriers of this message and force mum and dad to engage with it. A lot of the prizes that we had seen involved in the past around sustainability were your sustainability type hampers and that kind of take-home stuff that maybe appeals to adults. We aimed this at kids. We've done mini iPods and various things depending on what council's budget might be. And that seemed to be quite essential to get a return. We also invested a bit of time in it as well and allowed for ring-arounds to actually hassle teachers gently and politely and get them to engage. Our rate of return is still pretty low. It's just about 10%, which is fairly normal for surveys anyway. But at least we know that if that is the case, then the education we're delivering for our client is getting home. And we can say that with some certainty, even though it's only 10% it's happening. This isn't ideal, but we still think it works, and we're just about to roll it out through some kindergartens as well and see if we can get the same dialogue happening in the homes of the littlies too. This second example basically involves us working in partnership with the school, and we're actually invited to host and present a parents' evening, and that made sure that our class message does actually get to the parents. So the background here is that we are working in the school on a waste minimisation programme. The schools voluntarily sign up to that, and they're given some resources to assist around the school, and it's about recycling in the school on that one. And then they get support from us in the way of a program facilitator, and we kind of build a long-term relationship with the school. So they get a waste audit, we provide the resources, there's a lot of education sessions for various classes, a lot of hand-holding and support. Now this school was predominantly an ESL school, and so the school itself were very keen to build a closer relationship with their community because it was a new community. So I suppose there's a little bit of being in the right place at the right time as well. And our relationship with the school became closer, and we're really working in partnership with that focus on waste and recycling, but also bringing the school together as well. So for the school, it was a twofold engagement. They're getting to engage their wider school community a lot better and also share that waste information. So it became more than us just dropping in and doing a presentation and then disappearing again and saying to our client, oh yeah, we've talked to the kids. So the parents' evening, fairly simple really. We basically hosted it. We had all the parents come in, gave them a background to the program, told them a bit about what their kids had been doing at school. We had a waste audit, which we shared results, and talked about what the school was doing and what the kids were doing in school to recycle. And then we were able to sell a bit of a message about what they should be doing at home in terms of rubbish-free lunches and correct recycling, that kind of thing, and other opportunities that they might have. So we managed to use the school as a vehicle to get ourselves in front of the community, which was really what council was saying. Well, how do we know if we pay you guys to go and talk to our kids, how do we know that's getting home? So that's pretty successful. We were then invited by the school to host a stall at a weekend event where not just parents but the wider community were invited as well. And we set up a little stall which explained the waste minimisation programme, what the kids had been doing. And then, I guess similar to our conference here, the kids had a passport. They had to run around and ask questions about the waste minimisation programme. And to answer those questions, they got a stamp on their passport. And we had parents and we had members of the community who were just in the neighbourhood coming in as well and understanding what the kids have been doing on recycling. So again, ensuring that message is getting beyond just the kids. Now, in this last one, we've been working with a couple of schools. These are both in the Melbourne area, where we've actually been getting the students to do a lot of the delivery. And this is really powerful. And I think anyone who's delivered any education at any level, until you do it yourself, you don't realize how much you have to understand it. So we've been targeting the students to stand up and talk to both parents and wider community. One of the schools had a farmers market on their premises at the weekends, and so we're able to actually advertise a workshop there and get the kids to talk to people who came to the workshop about what they'd been doing with their composting and worm farming. Prior to this, we had been running a program called WOW, Wipe Out Waste in the School, and working with a number of schools. And it's probably worth sort of pausing at this point. And really, the critical thing here is the relationship that we built as educators with the school. It's more than just sort of walk up, rock in, do your presentation, and disappear again. It is about building a partnership, and we've found through that we get invited to do these sort of things, to do parent evenings, to come and do stalls, and to talk to the kids about doing these sort of presentations. So I can't stress that enough, that if we're just walking in and just delivering and then leaving again, we're not really doing our job. So with this last school, we actually had a couple of their gardening staff attend an international compost awareness workshop in 2016, and then they decided that they could probably deliver something using the kids. So that's what we did. We had a fully booked up workshop at a farmer's market, and the children presented to everyone who came along. We had advertised it through the council comms department and through the farmer's market program, and it was really well attended and just fantastic to see the kids standing up and talking about what they'd been doing. And then we delivered a formal workshop to assist the community setting up wild farm and compost themselves. We have another one running next week where the kids will also be involved, another school in the WOW program. And again, it's open to parents and the wider community. And we'll have kids standing up and talking about what they've been doing. So really good and really good partnerships. And you know then that what you're doing at the school is getting beyond the school gate. So in summary, I suppose I'm asking the question, can you really assume that your WasteEd message is getting home? There are lots of things you can do to test it, and we'll continue to try and push the boundaries and make sure we know it's happening. And certainly partnerships and collaboration with schools over the longer term are better. So the key is really just to be able to provide that link between the kids and the community, and ask the question whether it is indeed getting home. And there's a degree of luck about being in the right place at the right time, and we certainly benefited from that to an extent with some of the things we've done. But I think if you're not asking that question and you're just sending in educators to talk to the kids, and then they're leaving and coming back in a year, then the message probably isn't getting home. Well, you certainly can't say with any confidence that it is. That is me. Short and sweet. Happy to take some questions if we've got a bit of time. We do, yep. And that's me there. If anyone wants to come and talk to me on the stand this week, I'll be around.
What we might do, thanks, Donald, very much.
No worries, thank you.